Hi guys. So today we are going to talk about how we can increase family engagement and education, specifically looking at the importance of family engagement, barriers that you may face during the time of trying to engage families, as well as some strategies to help you do that within your classroom. So, the importance of family engagement, there are many things that excuse me, there are many things that we could say is important for family engagement or why family engagement is important for us to have so our students can be successful. But here are some things that I have that it increases student achievement. It helps improve their attendance when their parents are engaged and involved. It increases motivation and behavior, enhances social skills as well as social interactions, as well as enhanced emotional well-being. So I have provided a few scholarly articles that have supported those reasons why family involvement is important. So, learning leaders said that parental involvement in a child's education improves student learning, improves both behavior and student attendance. We know when we are actively engaged with parents and have those positive relationships, we could talk to them about their students' attendance and or behaviors, and then things seem to change for us. It also says that our highest achieving kids always have parental support. So we always know the kids that do the best in our classes are the ones who parents we could talk to all the time. And that is simply family engagement and working in action. It also says that research shows that parent involvement encourages students to attend school regularly. So this just goes back to their attendance being important due to parent involvement. All right, so some strategies to help increase family engagement throughout the building as well as in your classroom is through regular communication. As far as like sending newsletters, seeing your daily agendas on Remind. We host family events here already, but having workshops or events in your classroom that specifically spotlight students, therefore the students are the center of focus, but the parents are there. Create volunteer opportunities. So when we have things at the school, ask parents to volunteer. Also, like having one of those parent follow their student days where they see the student all day and they're involved in what's going on. Using technology for engagement, not only using it to engage the students in the classroom, but where it's keeping the parents involved. So we use like the Remind app and all that things. Also involve families in decision making processes. So involving them in the decision making process, I have a few steps that you could use when doing that. So if we have a problem with the student and you're talking to the parent, first define what the problem is. So sit down with them and find out what the problem is. Then use active listening skills. So make sure you are listening to all the things that the parents have to say. Don't overtalk them. Make sure you ask questions to keep them focused on what the problem is at hand. Make sure you share useful information to them that will help you both come to a resolution for the problem. And then make sure you share your own needs and you share them adequately and you share them where the parent understands that you're not coming off as disrespectful, but you are explaining what you need to take place at that time. Help the parents determine what they want to do about the concern or the issue. So, whatever the problem is, help them figure out what their end goal is. And then come up with a plan and document that plan on what you're going to do, who's going to do it, how it's going to be done. And therefore, you and the parent has worked as partners and have problem solved a situation together. All right, next we're going to focus on a few barriers with family engagement, and those are lack of time or availability, language barriers, cultural differences, transportation issues, or limited understanding of the school system. So we know that lack of time and or availability is a big one because parents work full-time jobs, just like this is our job, that they have jobs and they go other places and it is hard for them to get here. We also have language barrier. We teach in a school that has a big ESOL population, and a lot of them do not speak English. English is their second language, so they don't understand what we're saying to them, and because of those barriers, they are not privy to coming out and being engaged in the school. Culture differences. Cultures are totally different, so we have the inability to understand what could be going on in the school due to the cultures. We also have transportation issues. So if parents don't have a way to get to the school, and then limited understanding of the school system, they just don't know what the school system's mission, vision, goals are. Their kids just simply go to school because they have to. Some other school barriers are teachers that are not a valuable resource, or they're not familiar with valuable resources that they could give out. Some other family barriers would be an adult that has a negative outlook on school, or then they've had a negative experience when they were in school, so they don't want to come up here if they don't have to. And then we have it where schools may be having a hard time getting their family engagement activities where all families are able to participate. It's They think it's for all families, but it's really not. All right, I've also included a chart from the family engagement, one of the articles that I use for the research, and it just simply shows you the difference between urban, rural, and suburban areas and the barriers that they have. So, a barrier for urban areas would be avoidance. For rural areas, it would be the lack of awareness of important activities. And then for suburban areas, we could say a family barrier is the helicopter parent that also is over involved. So having a parent that is over involved could also be damaging to family involvement, because sometimes doing a little too much is damaging. All right, ways to overcome these barriers. So you could offer flexible meeting time for parents that cannot come during the regular school day. You can provide translation services to those parents and families that do not speak English. Have culturally responsive practices where you try to really understand their cultural differences and use those differences to get them involved, as well as educate families about the school system, not just the school, but the school system as a whole, and establishing partnerships between school and families. That is the most important part. And that having that partnership will allow you to break those barriers and get families engaged. All right. Are there any questions at this time? Comments, concerns? If you are not comfortable asking your question out loud, you can write them down. I have a feedback form that you can put your questions on, if that would be more helpful for you. No questions? All right, here are the references that I used to create this presentation. And thank you for listening.